Hello, everybody, and welcome to Church at Home with Rachel for Wednesday, the 6th of May. Today, I want to talk about 8 seconds. Last weekend, Friday and Saturday, Rob and I had the opportunity to go to the professional bull riding event here in Brandon. And it takes place across Canada during the year, and the big finals is in Edmonton. And actually, we went to our first PBR event 2 years ago, just 2.5 years ago in Edmonton. And it was the weekend before my election to Diocese of Brandon. We had no idea how much our lives were going to change. We went to that event. Well, not because of the event, but that week after the event. Anyway, I digress. The point being that we went to see the both nights. We went for Rob's birthday, a birthday gift, an early gift I gave him was tickets to the PBR for both events. And the first evening, all the professionals had been out there before. They've won so many awards and so many rodeos and everything. And there were two young men, both of whom were from Quebec. One was 18 and one was 19. One was Villeneuve, and the other one, Jeremy Villeneuve and Jayden Roy, R-O-Y, Roy. And they were competing. Now, Jeremy Villeneuve has competed before, but this was Jayden Roy's very first event. He'd never like in the PBR, this is his first night out. He went out that night on Friday night, and he was able to ride. He had both rides were eights, so like 8 seconds. So he got the total. He was in the lead. First night of his first event in the PBR tour, and he was in the first place. 18 years old. His best friend, kid he trained with from Quebec as well, Jeremy Villeneuve, went out and he also rode two full 8 second scores, and he was in second place. Well, it was incredible watching these two young men be interviewed. And that first night when Wah came out and as the award winner, he was interviewed and he was talking about his faith, and he kept talking about God and thanking God for perseverance and thanking to God. He'd ride and then hit his knees and pray before he left the ring. Like it was the arena. It was amazing to see these two young men, good friends. Then they came out on Saturday, and time after time, the guys been around for a while weren't making the 8 seconds. And then second last run of the day, Villeneuve came out, and 90 it would be ideal. Like I don't think there's ever been 100, because it's a score for the bull and a score for the rider. And if they hit 8 seconds, they get a score. They qualify for a score. Now, if they hit 8 seconds because the bull went out and picked daisies, their score is not going to be very high, because the part of the score is how rambunctious was that bull, how hard was the ride, what was the technical difficulty of the ride. Well, he went out, and that bull wanted him off, and that kid hung on. And Villeneuve was fighting with a broken wrist. He had a cast on his wrist this whole time, and he went out and he scored an 80. I believe it was an 89.6. It was it was a darn near perfect ride. It was incredible. And he went past the 8 seconds. After the green light said 8 seconds, he was still on that bull. It was incredible. And then came out the one who, like, as the night goes through, because he hadn't done his third race, he had fallen from the top of the score. But we knew as long as he did a good job, as long as he made the 8 seconds, he'd be in the top. Well, he went out there and he didn't make the score. He didn't quite. He went to like 7.47 seconds or something like that. It was so close, but there was no question. He didn't make it to the 8 seconds. But his first two combined scores were high enough to keep him in second place overall. And even though he didn't make that ride, even though his third ride wasn't clean, he went over to the edge of the arena, and the cowboys and the other people are gathering, trying to get the bull down the chute. He dropped to his knees and he prayed and he pointed at God, and he got up and he went off. And then they showed pictures of the video. They showed a video of his friend Villeneuve watching Wah ride, and he was watching. If he'd gone 8 seconds, he would have won. He was that far. He had that much of a point advantage that if he'd made a clean run, Wah would have come in first. He would have won his very first event. He didn't. But watching Villeneuve's face as he cheered his friend on, knowing that he'd be the one, if he made a clean ride, he'd be the one, Wah would be the one taking home the money and the buckle and 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 all the points that they score along their thing. As it turns out, watching Villeneuve's face, like just the raw 8 seconds of emotion as he wanted his friend to win, even to have a clean ride, even though he knew it would bump him off the top of the podium, off the top of the scoreboard, was absolutely incredible. Seeing the look on his face, and then when he saw his friend get bucked off, not quite making the 8 seconds, he was devastated. But then to see them come together at the end, knowing that Villeneuve had won, it was it was beautiful. And on top of that, Villeneuve went from ranking 12th to second on the Canadian circuit with that ride. It was amazing to see the incredible sportsmanship and the athleticism of these young men, 18 and 19 years old, from Quebec. Who knew they had bull riding in Quebec? You learn something new every day. But it was incredible to see these two young people and how over the course of 3 rides at 8 seconds each, so that's what, 8, 16, 24, total of 48 seconds, they became a part of my thinking, a part of my heart in some ways, because I felt like they were my kids and I wanted them to do well. 8 seconds. 8 seconds is such a short amount of time, and yet it is such a long amount of time. It's all about perspective. And neither of those two, regardless of how they did, of course, every rodeo rider, every bull rider goes into that arena wanting to take home that buckle. They want to take home the top shot. But they go out, and if they get bucked off, they know that their life isn't over. They still have challenges that they'll ride again for the most part. Well, they don't get injured too badly. They'll ride again. They'll have another shot. Their statistics showed like how many times they've been out of the chute, how many times they completed the ride, and most of them, even the ones who are 2 and 3 time, Canadian champions, like less than 50% of the rides that they've had have they made to the 8 seconds. And it was a reminder to all of us, I think, that we can't give up. It's not about making the green light that shows you hit the 8 seconds and then the flashing of the award, the score up there. It's about the effort of getting on the bull in the first place. The risk you take, the work you put into it, the effort you make just to get on that bull to ride. So if you're going through your week and you're having a tough one, and I'm up to my eyeballs in post-it notes and all the things I need to do, because on Saturday morning, my Archdeacon Cheryl and I are heading up north to the Paw and then Thompson and a few other places to go and to celebrate, ministry in the north. And there's a lot of work to be done before then, and I've got so much to do, and I'm feeling like it. But all of that is the effort it takes to get on the bull. It's the hard work. It's all the behind the scenes things that lead up to that short 8 seconds that feels like a lifetime. For me, that 8 seconds is the moment when I get to ordain a deacon named Dave Sanderson on Thursday, Ascension Day, a week from tomorrow. That 8 seconds is like the moment a week and a half from now, when I will bless the chrism oils, bless the oils that people will take to baptize with or to pray for healing for someone, and get to renew the vows of deacons and priests who have been ordained and are willing to say to God, every day I offer myself to you. That's my 8 seconds. Do I always make it on that particular bolt? No. There are times I completely mess up, but I get up and try to do it again. But all that work that goes into making that 8 seconds happens, that's more than half the battle. And that's the work. That preparation for that 8 seconds makes it all worthwhile. And then, of course, if you hit the green light when they show the 8 seconds that you did it, well, that just takes it over the top. What are your 8 seconds? And what are the preparations you need to make for your 8 seconds? And while you're thinking about those things, say a little prayer for Jayden and Jeremy Villeneuve, because these are two young men who, at a very young age, have dedicated themselves to a very, very difficult job. One that will it will do so much damage to their bodies that by the time they're my age, they'll be crippled up. And yet they will have the knowledge of knowing that they did their best and tried their hardest for that 8 seconds. And in the end, that 8 seconds is like 80 years. When we can look back and say, we did it. We tried our best. And sometimes we made it and sometimes we didn't, but we offered all we had to give. That's the point. So as you offer yourself and all you have to give for your 8 seconds today, give thanks to God that you have the time and you have the ability and the effort to do it. And if you don't stay on whatever bull you're riding for 8 full seconds, just be proud of yourself that you got on in the first place. Have a great day. God bless. And I'll see you again tomorrow for Church at Home with Rachel.